Just a few blocks from downtown Montgomery, you'll find a building that might look abandoned on the outside. It sits right across from the parsonage of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which is now an often visited museum. And much like the parsonage, it too is one of the most historic pieces of property in the city. So what will it take to make it thrive once again? I have more in the Alabama News Network Extra, Saving the Ben Moore Hotel. Edward Davis unlocks the front door of the building left to him by his father. But it's not just any building. Sitting on the corner of Jackson and High Streets, it's one of the most historic sites in Montgomery.
The Ben Moore Hotel was was the first hotel for African Americans back in the 1950s. So it had a really big place in history.
The Ben Moore Hotel opened its doors on September 23rd, 1951. Before that day, African Americans had to rely on friends or boarding houses when they needed a place to stay during that time of racial tension in the South. This hotel was a place where black guests were treated as equals.
When you start talking about history of Montgomery, you're talking about Centennial Hill and you're talking about the centerpiece, the Ben Moore Hotel.
Richard Bailey, the chairman of the Historic Preservation Commission, says the hotel was well known across the country.
Many persons who were aware of the significance of the hotel call this hotel the best hotel for African Americans south of the Ohio River. And that's really saying something.
Edward Davis's father bought the building in the 1970s. In the early 2000s, he started an effort to raise money to bring the hotel back to life.
He wanted to cover this place with historical memorabilia, and he started a picture that he never got a chance to finish. So it was like the center point of Centennial Hill. And everybody was really proud to have this in their neighborhoods.
But those restoration plans died along with him when he passed away in 2014.
He didn't share all of his vision with me, but I know that he constantly tried to restore it, and he looked for ways to restore the hotel because he knew the historical value of it. And much like him, I'd like to do the same thing.
We were lucky enough to get a rare look inside the now abandoned structure. The first floor was once occupied by a restaurant known as the Majestic Cafe.
We still have the original seatings and the original tables. A lot of the original items are still here, and they need to be restored. Unfortunately, we don't have everything, but I tried to keep as much stuff as I could.
On the second and third floors were 28 rooms. The suites on one side of the hall, all with their own bathrooms and showers. The other side were the standard rooms where guests shared a communal hallway bathroom. But the star of the hotel, the rooftop garden, referred to as the Afro Club at night, a place where some of the top black performers came to play.
If you can imagine it, they had the live music, they had the bar set up, and yeah, it was just a nice place to sit down, to eat, talk, socialize, and it was a safe environment. It was a safe environment, so it was really meaningful. It was said to have brought around a social change in humanity.
But the rooftop wasn't just for entertainment. It was a place where some of the most important decisions of the civil rights movement were made.
E.D. Nixon, who was president of the NAACP and the Montgomery Progressive Democratic Association, held his meetings here also. And then Dr. King brought his lieutenants here, Reverend Abernathy and all of the others, and this is where he did his planning too.
While the Ben Moore Hotel won't ever be like it was in its heyday, Davis hopes to make it a vibrant part of the community once again.
I can't see it being a hotel, but I can see it being a perfect place for receptions, especially up here.
I would like to see some citizens, black and white, come together with a master plan. This neighborhood deserves whatever we can do with the Ben Moore Hotel.
But until that day comes, the doors of the Ben Moore Hotel will remain locked. And behind them, the history here that brought change in a time of civil unrest.
And I know keeping our history alive is so important so that, we don't repeat it. So I would really love to see this come back to life.
And And Edward Davis says he's open to help and suggestions to get restoration efforts off the ground. He's created a GoFundMe account to help raise money for the restoration. You can search Benmore Hotel on GoFundMe's website, or you can also find the link to the GoFundMe page on our website, alabamanews.net.